Hello, my name is Elizabeth Overland, and I'm here to give you a presentation on Judith Heumann. Who is Judith? Judy is a disability rights activist happily married to George P. Nader and resides in Washington, D.C. Judy did a lot of activist work for people with disabilities. We would not have access to quality life if it not for her. Kim Jr., the film, she was a major part of the documentary discussing about people with disabilities and their struggles and frustration. I am going to give you a bit of a background about Judy. Judy was born to immigrant parents, German Jewish, in December 1947 in Brooklyn. Her parents have 3 children. Judy is the oldest of all 3 and is the only child with a disability. She had polio at 18 months, spent quite time under iron lung casket, and spent time of her life in a wheelchair. She had experienced her first discrimination at an early age. The reason why I said she experienced her first discrimination at an early age is because when she went to school with her mother, she got rejected. The school viewed her as the fire hazard because she was in a wheelchair. Her parents decided to advocate and challenge the school system, and eventually, finally, she was able to enter high school with the other students. She was involved with Camp Jr. as the camper, and then later as the camp counselor. I wanted to give you a little information about Camp Jr. It is the camp for people with disabilities and allows them to experience things and enjoy life without supervision, no discrimination or oppression. It allows them to feel free. After she graduated from a university with an education degree, she tried to apply for a teaching license, but she was rejected. They looked at Judith and said she was unable to take students out of school safely because she was in a wheelchair. Judith decided to file a lawsuit against the Board of Education and won a settlement. She went on and taught in elementary school for a few years. Who is she as the leader? She was the leader who believed that everyone deserves an equal access to quality of life that includes those following: living the life you deserve to live, receive education with accommodation, access to buildings, chase your dreams, disabled or not. I'm going to give you a description about her personality: empowerment, true activist, educator, and feminist. I will say a bit about each personality trait. Empowerment is because she believes in empowering others, encourage others to fight what they know is right, fight against injustice, fight against people who are not allowing you to speak up. True activist is because she believes everyone deserves to have equal access to quality of life. If she sees something that is not right, she will want to fix by it, giving resolution and making changes. Educator is because she's already have an education background with a degree in teaching license. Education is a natural part of her. She felt the need to educate others about law, our disability culture, and how we work differently and still be a success. Feminist is because she will not allow anyone belittle her, and she kept her ground well. Leadership style. I will discuss about two styles, but first I will discuss about transformational leadership. She always worked through times of uncertainty. She already possessed emotion, value, ethics, standards, and long-term goals. She treats others the way she wants to be treated. She job coaches others by encouraging them to become leaders. She also blossomed them into a strong leader in our disability community. Keeping it real, authentic leadership is because she's already self-knowledgeable and very comfortable with who she is as a human being. Judith uses her personal experience to lead and fight. If it were not for her personal experiences, we would not have what we have to this day. She was always ready to serve others with purpose and make sure they are on work. She is very sensitive and empathetic because she can relate with other people who have experienced frustration, oppression, injustice, etc. in the disability community. I'm going to mention two accomplishments, but she does have several more. I felt those two are essential to mention. Individuals with Disability Education Act. She was the legislative extension that helped and developed IDEA. IDEA is a law that makes it available for all appropriate public education to children with disabilities throughout the nation and makes sure that special education and services are provided to those children. 504 sitting in California. After the U.S. Secretary of Health refusing to sign the regulation, so Judy went ahead and led a sitting protest and San Francisco office her Department of Health with a total of 18 days and 150 people. The Secretary, Judith, finally signed the 504 regulation. To this day, it is the only largest sitting at a federal building. 504 is part of the Rehabilitation Act from 1973 that guarantees certain rights to people with disabilities. It is one of the first federal civil rights protecting people with disabilities. There are several accomplishments Judith has. She founded and disabled in action organization. She worked at a Center for Independent Living as the deputy director. President Obama appointed her as special advisor on international disability rights for the U.S. State Department. She was one of the co-founders for World Institute on Disability. She was appointed by the mayor of Washington, D.C. as the first director for the Department on Disability Service. Judy served under Clinton administration as an assistant secretary of the Office of Special Education and Rehabilitation Services at the U.S. Department of Education. She also served as the World Bank Group's first advisor on disability and development. She was involved with Ford Foundation as a senior fellow. Why do I choose Judith Heumann? She quoted, "Disability not only becomes a tragedy for me when society fails to provide things we need to lead our lives. Job opportunities for barrier-free buildings, for example. It is not tragedy to me that I'm living in a wheelchair. I am inspired because as a deaf person, I understand her struggle and frustration with no access, especially no access to information, no code captioning and sign language interpreter. I have learned how to fight because if Judith can silence others who may not be knowledgeable, then I could do the same thing. Thank you for watching my presentation. I appreciate it very much.